Hey everybody, we're back after a bit of an unfortunate and unplanned hiatus. Hope everyone's awake and happy this morning. Hope we're all awake and happy this morning. I'll take those giggles as a yes. Alrighty. So, thanks for tuning in this morning. It's been a long time since we've been on. Sorry about that. Who would have thought it? Well, we're all locked down here in New Zealand under COVID. It was super easy to jump on and do a live stream. As soon as we essentially beat the virus here and were able to go back to work, live streams suddenly became hard. We were all at work where there's no setup for it. So we decided to take a bit of time off this morning, avoid doing work, and hang out at home for a bit where we could actually do one and catch up with you guys. So thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I know it's midnight. Sorry. Well, it's unfortunately. Yeah, for New Zealand really is in the worst place of the world when it comes to time zones. So thank you if you're in Europe and you've stayed up late to hang out with us, or it's early evening in the US. And if you're crazy like some people in Australia and Western Australia, where it's probably 4 or 5 in the morning, thank you for getting up early. So yeah, sorry about not being around much. If there is any good news for that, the reason we haven't been around much is that guy and that guy have been working hard on lots of stuff, including the Bagration German book. That guy has been working on everything else.
Literally everything else.
Yeah, Bagration Germans, World War III West Germans, thinking about Warsaw Pact for Team Yankee. Yeah, everything else. So, yeah, whilst we haven't been on screen much, we've been making good use of the time on the work front.
Yes, it's been quite a busy time. But you haven't Slack, haven't taken any photos.
Yeah, it's been
True,
funny.
yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but and I don't know how you guys at home have been going, but we came out of lockdown here in New Zealand. We were as busy as we could be, which meant that hobby stuff kind of got put on the back burner for us a bit. And since we've gotten back to work, I don't know. I've struggled to actually get back into my painting, so I actually still have Cromwells sitting on my desk in order to work on my Cromwell company that I've not finished sorting out yet. And the last time I showed you a Cromwell was probably 2 streams ago, so I don't know, 2 months ago. So
all I heard is an excuse for being slack.
I know I have been. I don't know. I've struggled. So I have been doing some hobby stuff, and even this morning actually, I'm not painting. I'm not clipping. What I'm doing is I'm noodling over on window that you can't see. I'm currently list building for FlamesCon. Yeah, I'm currently list building for FlamesCon and trying to figure out what I'll need to paint over the next few weeks.
Probably
Casey,
a lot.
We'll do the quick round the world. What's Casey's plan? What has he got on his table today?
Well, I've just finished off a whole bunch of T-34s, which is good.
You've only been painting those for the last 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, and that's been quick. And now I'm working on some Katyushas. For those of you following on Instagram, want to see my progress on those. So that's where that. It's taken a long time. Working on some other stuff, but I'm not allowed to tell anyone about that yet.
Fair enough. Victor, what you got there?
Armored rifle dudes.
Armored rifle.
Still planning to, because our mid-year regular tournament Panzer was postponed, so I've readjusted my deadline to now FlamesCon to at least get a armored rifle platoon done, but maybe the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wayne, what you got?
I haven't actually done a lot for my Big Four German army in recent times, but for the FlamesCon coming up, I'm just going to take what I already have painted. So I think my force is 13 Panzer IVs, pair of 88s and a 250 recon platoon. So I don't know if they're painting things, but I am painting some stuff for. There's a Team Yankee tournament just before it. About a month before, is it?
Yeah, I think it's about a month.
And that's 75 points. So taking a whole pile of Leopard 2s is kind of impractical. So I'm painting Fuchs infantry platoon. Go with it, and I'm going to take an Al Claron squadron.
Nice.
Company. So I've got undercoated the Fuchs this morning, and I have the infantry for them on my desk undercoated. So hopefully start painting those this week.
Mm-hmm. So
I think we've all been doing a bit of Team Yankee stuff actually in the past month or so.
I've been doing lots of noodling, but that's about it.
So we were going to talk about a few things, touch on a few things today. So we were going to talk a little bit about FlamesCon. So for those of you that don't know, FlamesCon is a local tournament with COVID and everything under control here in New Zealand. We're allowed to do tournaments again. We might also talk about NukeCon, which is the Team Yankee tournament that Wayne mentioned. We're going to talk, if you want, briefly about not this book, but this one. So we're not going to answer a lot of questions about the Waffen SS because we would like you to put some questions in our Facebook group so that Phil can answer them for you in a couple of weeks' time. Phil did the SS book.
Phil's book.
Phil's book, yes. We were going to talk a little bit about where we're up to with Big Four and sort of what we've got planned, and then probably if there's any time after that, anything else you kind of wanted to discuss in the chat. Where do you guys in the chat want to start? Do you want to start with some SS stuff, or do you want to start with FlamesCon? We'll let you have a think about that.
Somebody asked about where is the lesson from the front after the D-Day British book?
Okay, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Phil has been working on one for an updated one, so it can't be far away. I have my handy notebook here, so I won't give you an answer. I won't give you a definite answer from now, but lessons from the front. I'll ask him about it when I get into the office.
He's pretty much done it. I think it's a matter of him putting it in front of putting it in front of Pete to approve.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
Looks like SS is the winner.
All right.
Start off with.
So, SS. I'll kick it off. So, I've when we did the D-Day German book a year ago now, one of the projects I was super keen to work on was last days of Whitman. So basically painting up, I was going to paint 8 tigers up. Big Four and COVID happened, and I only just literally finished assembling my 8th tiger last night. So I'm taking the opportunity to dust that project off and work on it as part of our live launch coming up for the Waffen SS book. The good thing is, I mean, the list for the tigers in both books is literally the same, isn't it, Wayne? There's no points difference.
No, they are slightly different. They've got
they have
rating, morale.
They have better morale. Yeah.
Oh, they do actually have better morale. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I think it costs 1 point extra for the unit, no matter how many tanks you've got. So it's basically it's a 3 or 4 point tax for the whole formation.
Ooh.
Something like that.
Let me look at the books. So you mean there's a benefit going one way or the other potentially? Either save points or have better morale?
Yep.
I didn't know that. You're right.
I only know because I was reading the Breakthrough Assault article last night.
Good shout out for Breakthrough Assault.
Yep.
You are absolutely right. So, yeah, 1 point of difference. Oh. Now I'm torn.
But I think the here has slightly better AA options, as in they've got armoured AA and the SS ones don't.
Right.
So I think there are pluses and minuses, I think.
Yeah, there are. Ooh.
It's not as clear cut as you would have thought.
Yeah, decisions. Well, the reason for thinking about it was this is my opportunity to kind of push this project forward. It's only 8 tanks. My plan was to do 7 tanks, which is what, from memory, Whitman rolled out with on that fateful day, and I'll do an 8th tank, which would be, he changed tanks in the few days before that. So I'll do the tank that he was in, and then the tank that he ended up in.
That 007 to 212 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's the other way around, I think.
Right.
So yeah, I was going to do that.
What happened to the other tank? Did it break down or something?
That's probably a safe guess. I actually don't remember. I have read something where it tells you what happened. Thank goodness for the internet, right? Once it's up there, it's stored forever. But the other reason for doing 8 was also the simple one that it rounds out to be 100 points on the nose with an SS list, and well, it turns out it's just under 100 points if you do it as a hair list, leaving me a couple of points for some AA or something.
Yeah, but if me go SS.
Yeah, actually, now you mention it, 2+ motivation. So not just on remount, 2+ motivation for everything. Sounds
means you can
awesome.
sit them on an objective and get assaulted by infantry that can't hurt you, can't push you off.
Yeah.
Until you roll a 1.
Yeah.
No one's allowed.
So your standard rolling, Wayne.
Yes, so I'd run a first roll, I roll a 1.
Oh, jeez. All right. So what?
Yeah.
What the other thing I guess that's probably been talked about a lot is the Panthers. I mean, I think you've been noodling a bit of Panther action, haven't you, Casey?
Panthers are legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just so much cheaper than the hair ones. That, I mean, you get hit on 3+, but who cares? You got front armor 9. You basically ignore anything that isn't anti-tank 12 or up. Even anti-tank 12, you don't really worry too much about. So they're pretty good, and you save so many points. You get extra Panthers to mitigate the losses you're going to take for having being hit on 3s.
Yep.
And what's more fun than rolling around with 10 or 12 Panthers? Because of course they've got the old hands rule as well, so they're confident. But if your unit leaders are hanging around the HQ, they benefit from the HQ's veteran rating.
Yeah, so they're trained, not confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they get to do
Skill
tactic
checks.
stuff on
Yeah.
3+, or yeah. Does that account for assaults as well? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
We should save that for the Q&A, but let's just look at it now because I'm interested. I'll look in the right book. Though.
Yeah, Phil will answer that in a couple of weeks.
Oops, I was looking at the right book. Old hand rule. So the rule's called the old hand rule.
I think so, yeah.
No, it's a tactics rating of 3+ when the formation commander is in 6 inches.
Yes. Yeah, so it is just a tactics rating. It's not
just
assault.
Yeah. Nice. Excuse me.
But I've actually got a back in from version 3. I painted a massive SS army. The full armored Panther Grenadier company, all the half tracks. I did all of the support weapons with their half tracks. I did 8 of the 75mm half tracks. So I've got a massive amount, but I never bought any of the tanks because they're always just too expensive. But I mean, that was back when they were all fairly veteran.
Yeah.
It was actually difficult to run a big army, so I'm actually quite excited about this because I'll actually finally get around to painting some Panthers and some Panzer IVs in German colours, not the Soviets.
Have you not painted any?
The only tanks with turrets that I have for my SS are Tigers.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, fair enough. I'm surprised.
Don't you have some T-34s?
That's mid-war though. I'm talking about late war.
Oh, okay. It's got a qualifier
now. Late war just went for half tracks, bam.
I do find that very appealing.
Half-track span.
Yeah, I really do like the idea of the 250 based reconnaissance force. I'm not sure about being aggressive though, and being hit on a 3+.
You'll be right.
You survive, you reckon?
Enough will survive.
Victor, has anything caught your eye in the SS book?
Probably the Tiger list, but you've got that covered. I'm actually looking forward to playing against them. I think it would be a cool, do some cool thematic battles in the bookage and stuff. That'd be cool. Yep. We played against the list from D-Day German quite a few times now, so it'd be a cool, different feel as an opponent. Yeah.
Yeah, remember at FlamesCon last year, the D-Day German Tiger list it seemed popular.
Yeah.
I remember
it being
tough.
The SS will be maybe even more so.
Yeah. Because Wayne, you've got a big SS force, haven't you already painted?
Well, weirdly, it was for the Eastern Front, and it was kind of the 20th Estonian Grenadier, SS Grenadier Division, and my support armor was from Nordwind, the 11th SS. So, but for the moment, I'll probably field them using this book, and just field them as Panzer Grenadiers, I think.
Yep.
That's what I am. One of the things I dug out this morning was my Panzer Shreks, because they were still, it was under version 3 Panzer Shreks were 2 Panzer Shreks on a base, so 4 figures on a medium base. So I've just chopped them up and made 4 Panzer Shrek bases.
Nice.
How do you want to run through how you did that for anyone who does have an old SS army that wants to do the same?
Yeah, well, I just because I'd only glued them all with PVA rather than a lot of people use super glue. But I just PVA'd them, so I just ran a knife underneath the putty and the thing, and just scared them off the base, and they came off quite easily. With super glue, I think with super glue you might have to bend the old medium base, and because super glue is reasonably brittle, that should just sort of crack the tension, and they'll probably just pop off then. Yeah. Then maybe run the knife underneath to take everything out.
Yeah, that's what I've done when I've super glued them on.
Yeah. I have seen a couple people cut the base in half around the corners and try to keep their basing material still there.
That seems like too much hard work, because
if you can do it, good on you.
Yeah.
Reebok has got a question saying, why make an entire book with changed stats and not bring in new toys and new formations or something new? I'll leave that for Chris to answer.
I would leave that to Phil to answer.
Yeah.
No.
No.
The answer...
Fundamentally, the organisation of a SS Panzer Division is the same as the organisation of an army.
Yeah.
Thing.
The other thing is,
it was just too much stuff to stick in one book.
It's also forces in Normandy, right? So it is a specific time period. I think Pete also covered this in one of the previous live streams. So much that one of the reasons for splitting out and having a Waffen SS book for Normandy was unfortunately around the release schedule. So much stuff to do, so many things to put into books, so many figures to make. We couldn't manage to get all of the SS stuff that we needed made in time, along with all of the stuff that we made for the D-Day German book. So unfortunately, it was forced upon us a little bit. In saying that, it also means we get to tell the story for it and actually have a complete SS book for the period as well. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sort of Normandy is one of those times where to me that is a very SS centric battle, I guess, when I think about it. So it felt okay to me to have a specialist book for them.
And the other good thing is it actually gave us time to actually do a bit more playtesting, or I can actually come up with a more unique feel for them, because I think that got done after we'd taken them out of the German book and basically sent it to the printer.
Yeah. So a lot of the cool stuff and the ability to sort of figure out what they would look like came about due to the extra time. So I think in the end, it's probably a better product as well for it. So
yeah, and I mean, and they're still going to be they're going to get their own card pack. All of the new SS infantry are going to get their cards in their blisters and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the others are going to be updated. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a whole infantry range coming with them as well. So
Yeah.
It would have made one book too big for the size we're trying to make the books as well.
Yeah. Which sort of it does also. Sorry, Casey, you go.
So don't think of it as a as a limited release. Just think of it as another way to, make an entire new formation with a few releases and still using a lot of your old stuff.
Yep. Sorry, Wayne. At Sorby, sorry, forgive me with my pronunciation, suggests that you should check out the movie 1944, which is a 2015 Estonian war drama, which actually sounds like it would be right up Wayne's alley.
I saw some
Doesn't have subtitles.
I saw some clips from it on YouTube, I think. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I must see if I can find it somewhere.
Here's one for you, Victor, because somebody's reviewed all of our sweet graphics. Somebody wants to run a painting competition where the prize is to get a Big Four style portrait done.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yep. It'd be cool.
Yeah, we want to see what you guys are up to as well.
What sort of, let us know what sort of competition you'd want, whether it's paint a single tank or a platoon or what. We should do something like that.
That'd be cool.
I'm just watching, I'm being hypnotized by Casey's camera bouncing.
Yeah, I jiggle.
This is leg jiggling. This is restless leg syndrome.
What have we got here?
Formation command tank, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, or any sort of,
Oh, yeah.
commander or even a platoon commander, just a command looking tank. Let's,
I like the idea of objectives, because they're always the last thing you think about in an army.
Yeah, we'll have a think and we'll put it on the Big Four Instagram. We'll put all the details up. We'll do a competition. That sounds cool. And that's an easy prize. That'll take me 5 minutes to make in Photoshop. We could maybe beef up the prize a bit.
It depends on how much work it makes to make people look pretty.
I won't do that. No, the photo is as you see me a photo, you choose an artwork, and I slap them together.
Rebrock, you're asking a question about why no 41 decal in the British decals? Good. You were going to tell me what it was, because Phil has a bit of an encyclopedic memory for British organisational numbers. I do not.
I did notice there was a German decals I was using the other day. There was like a number missing. I can't remember what it was. I mean, like,
let's see, 41. I don't have an answer for you on that one.
is that the armour service number, the boxy things?
Yeah. I'm going to say it's... So, I'm going to say the Ricky Squadron needs a 41, not a 44. I'm going to say that it could have been down to colours, or it could have been down to the amount of space on the sheet. I'll add it to my list, though.
Phil will know.
Yeah, Phil. Terrible. Phil will know.
And it may not have been thought about because the Ricky Squadron wasn't a thing when we were doing the decal sheets. As in we may not have been planning on doing one.
Also, the Ricky unit that is in D-Day British isn't a traditional Ricky Squadron, is it, guys? I think Was it Wayne? Were you explaining this one to me, or maybe it was Phil? It's a very specific recce unit for a very specific time.
Yeah, because normally they have Humbers. So
Yeah.
we did the one that had Daimlers, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Because we had the Daimler plastic kit, which is normally Daimlers for the armoured car squadrons rather than the recce squadrons.
Right, yeah, armoured cars versus recce, yep. Well, we do have another D-Day, sorry, we don't have D-Day, sorry, we do have another British book coming out later, which will have obviously more stuff in it. It may be something that fits in with that book, so we'll see what happens on that front. Bubba09, any chance the paras and gliders for US and Brits will be allowed to use their rules for tournaments? I would say ask your tournament organizer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love to think that we can control tournaments. Unfortunately, we can't.
Yeah, and I mean, most tournament organisers are pretty, or can be pretty flexible.
Yeah, hit them up.
And I mean, and a lot of the tournaments are using the what are they called? The battle plans. So you can always, so not every mission will be the same for each round. So you can always, hit your opponent up as well and say, hey, do you mind if I do a glider assault? Do a glider assault game.
There we go. All right, let's talk Flamescon. Since
I'll just turn off since I'm not going then.
Yeah, 75% of the big four are currently planning on going.
No, we're going on holiday that week, and we're not going to be back in time.
Oh, okay.
No good excuse. So, are we all doing? So we're obviously 3 out of 4 of us are doing Flamescon. Are we doing our big four armies?
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
Yep.
No, it looks like you are too, Chris.
I don't know. I am, but I'm actually noodling over here on the Forces website what I'm going to take.
What's the front runner so far?
Because it's 80 points, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 80 points. Listening. So all of the planning that kind of we've been doing around Big Four has been based around 100 points. So this requires a bit of a rethink, and so I'm currently thinking a recce squadron. So, but ironic given our previous topic discussion about decals. I'm currently thinking, the command card recce squadron with 2 units of Daimlers and Dingoes, carriers, motor platoon, 6-pounders, mortars. So that's all in formation. Then
you don't have enough stuff.
Well, that formation is only 33 points. Then I'm thinking 3 Crocodiles, 4 M10s, and 2 Typhoons. So.
Wow.
Well,
Crocodiles win.
Well, I actually haven't played with a Crocodile under version 4, so I'm.
No, they're only front armor 13, I think. Aren't they?
They're front armor legit.
So recce, a Crocodile, such a themey thing to have with a recce gun.
I was going to say something, yeah.
I can spell cheese all the way from here.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, someone's saying no anti-tank 14. Why don't you drop the crop? Did you already have M10s?
No, I've got 4 M10s in there. So
okay.
I've got
M10s or Achilles.
Well, technically, I think they're M10Cs, aren't they? But they're 17-pounder M10s. So
yeah,
bad
so
boys.
Achilles, yeah,
the good one.
Yeah.
Achilles is a post-war name, but
Yeah. So
yeah,
shush Wayne.
it's what everyone uses.
Yeah. So, yeah, the recce squadron's there because I finished painting them, and no one has had time to take photos of them to put them up on the Big Four website. So I want to take them out for a spin.
So how bad?
Yep. So that's why I've got the 2 units of the Daimlers and Dingoes and carriers. I haven't painted the motor platoon. I haven't painted the motor platoon yet. I've been super slack when it comes to painting infantry. I've been enjoying painting all the big four tanks, but haven't done anything for my infantry. So a motor platoon's a nice way to get half of a rifle platoon painted. The 6-pounders are there to help deal with medium armour and light armour. Also, they're in formation. So it's just another thing keeping me on the table. And then I've got 4 3-inch mortars, which, I mean, they're there because I don't have any templates other than my Typhoons. They should be useful. And, well, once again, they're in formation. So then...
Mortars are great.
Mortars are, yeah, they're good. So, yeah, okay. And then the Crocodiles, I don't know. Crocodiles are there because they're 21 points. They're super chunky. I don't think I'll come against a lot of infantry at the tournament, but you never know. And they've still got 75mm guns, so they can deal with Panzer IVs.
You'd be more in theme by taking a Cromwell Ricky platoon or something that's, not Crocodiles.
Well,
more Ricky stuff.
Yeah, but Crocodiles are cool. The M10s, well, let's be honest, I was always going to take some 17-pounders because they're awesome, and other people take Tigers. And the Typhoons, were actually a bit of a case of I had about 8 points left over, and I was worried that the M10s might get knocked out too easily. So Typhoons might be a good option, and there's always that last tank that manages to run off and hide somewhere. So some Typhoons to go hunt them down I thought would be cool.
So they're your insurance policy.
They're an insurance policy, yeah. And like I said, I didn't know what to do with the 8 points. I thought I was actually looking, I could drop the Typhoons and I think the 3-inch mortars and replace them with 25-pounders, which, 25-pounders backed up by some infantry holding one objective and 6-pounders holding the other, something like that would actually be okay defensively.
Yeah, some direct fire extinct 9.
Yeah.
You always buy some naval bombardment.
I did look at that, but I think it was too many points. Someone said the Crocs can't hold objectives. I figure between the Daimlers and the carriers, there's a lot of sort of little ninja units that can kind of head around the table and hopefully take them. And if someone leaves an objective completely unguarded, the motor platoon can always sally forth and be keen.
They can go forward and take Wayne's one Tiger off the objective when he rolls at 1.
Yeah.
I don't have any Tigers.
So what are you running then, Wayne?
Because it's only 80 points, I can't afford Tigers.
So what are you taking, Wayne?
Since I painted that extra platoon of Panzer IVs, I thought I'd max out on Panzer IVs. So I've got 13 Panzer IVs. And then to fill it out, a pair of 88s for anything that's a bit tougher. And some 250 Ricky for a bit of a spearhead.
Nice.
I assume those 88s are going to be in ambush wherever possible?
Possibly, yes.
Nice and simple.
I was having an ambush, so that might not happen.
So you're going with the I have it all painted option, Wayne?
Yeah, everything's painted, so I don't have to paint anything for it.
Yep.
So you're not up for the challenge, Chris.
Well, I thought I'd do the painting for the Team Yankee one because I've got 3 vehicles and a platoon of infantry to paint. So yeah.
Now that we've sort of started this discussion, I've just started noodling a Churchill force, just because.
You've got a few Churchill paint, haven't you?
Yeah, and I've got a whole D-Day British Churchill formation done. Well, not a whole formation, but enough to put a good number of stuff on the table.
Yeah, that's just one of those things we haven't photographed yet because we haven't had time.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you, Victor? What are you taking to FlamesCon?
I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know.
You've got lots to choose from.
I'm happy for suggestions. Yeah, anything out of D-Day American. Well, not the rifle companies, but yeah, like I said, I'd like to get the Armored Rifle Company done, but it may end up only being a platoon. But yeah, I've got all the tanks I would need. If you want to put the Cavalry Recon Troop in there, because it's, I don't know, 10 or 11 points for a little formation that just runs around and spearheads me up, and then it might go hide and just keep me on the table.
That some teams and just spam lots of 75mm Germans.
76. I'll get definitely have 5 of them, I think. I'm not sure. Definitely have the half-track mortars in the formation, because that's just an easy platoon to make them stronger.
They can fire smoke, can't they?
Yep.
Yeah, which is handy.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it'll be a tank list with a platoon of armoured rifles, or an armoured rifle formation with a platoon of tanks. Something like that.
Is World War III, Flames War Soviet book out by then?
Yeah, because it's late. FlamesCon's mid-October, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got the Waffen SS book out in 2.5 weeks. Then I want to say 3 or 4 weeks after that is the Bagration Soviet book. Then there's quite a break before the next book, because Bagration Soviets, I mean, this is the first Soviet book for late war under V4, so there's a heap of stuff to come out for that. So yeah, that's quite a long list of stuff. So yes, you could have Bagration Soviets at the tournament.
Yeah, if I was going, I'd be like Wayne and just take a whole bunch of T-34s because I have them painted.
Yeah, you wouldn't go raid the studio stash of IS-2s?
No, but I'd be tempted to try and get that finished in the meantime.
You got a pile that you're working on. There we go.
I'm working on 13 at the moment because it seems like a good number.
They do seem super legit. I haven't seen. I'm not taking a shot at our Flames community here, but from the pictures that we've put up of the IS-2s, when we spoil stuff, occasionally you get a bit of a grumble. Oh, that doesn't look as good as I'd hoped, or oh, is that all that it is? I think everyone that's seen IS-2 stats on these streams has just gone, right, I think I might need to buy some IS-2s. So, yeah, I think they're looking good.
Take that, Crocodiles.
Well, someone in the chat did suggest a Fortress Europe Churchill formation, and I agree, they look fantastic.
Yeah.
I have the models to build one, but I haven't even started on them. So I was just looking at a D-Day Churchill armoured squadron with 75s and upgraded Churchills, and it looks tempting. It's all painted. If I could come up with a plan to use them, it'd be good, because with only 3, 6, 9 Churchills, 4 Stuarts, Crusaders and Typhoons, it wouldn't be a hard game to play. Fast game.
But what looks even better than that is the FE Soviet Churchills.
FE Soviet Churchills are super good. Yeah, I can't believe you haven't been painting some of those.
That's because I haven't been able to find any sprues, because somebody else has stolen them all.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is it?
People were trying to convince me to paint those up. I just haven't, because I wanted to paint up some actual Soviet models.
Yeah, it's fair.
50 Squadron, 7 Churchills plus 10 plus Avery. There you go.
Are those FE Churchills or D-Day Churchills? I'm guessing there must be for the points level, I suppose at 100 points, on D-Day Churchills. Yeah, that'd come out. Oof. Oh, sounds tempting. Sounds tempting. I do want to put my Churchills on the table. That would be fun. Let's see. What have we got here? Very new to Flames. This is from Modelling from Advantage. Just played the second mission in the main book and it ended abruptly on turn 3. Are objectives normally scored by touching them in your turn? I'm going to have to go with depends. Have I got a rulebook handy?
It depends on if your opponents are contesting them, because if your opponents are contesting them, have a team within 2 inches, or 4 inches, then no, you don't win. You have to wait till they are not also being contested. Yeah, you don't win just by touching them. There are other qualifiers to it.
Also, make sure to check, because I don't remember which one the second mission is, but not all missions have objectives live from turn 1. So
yeah, some will say at the beginning of the 6th turn.
Duster. Second mission is free for all. Sorry, yes.
Oh, yep.
So the first mission is annihilation. So second mission is free for all. So it says winning the game. The player wins if they end their turn holding one of the objectives that they placed on the opponent's side of the table. But then you have to go look at holding objectives on page 102. If you are holding an objective, if you start your turn with a tank, infantry, or gun team within 4 inches, 10 centimeters of an objective, and end it with no opposing tank, infantry, or gun teams within 4 inches, 10 centimeters of that objective. So basically, it's saying if you
you've got to shoot everyone off.
Start your turn on it, so you have to have moved on to it in the previous turn. So if you start your turn on the objective, and then at the end of the turn you've managed to eliminate any guys from the opposing side that are contesting it, then you win at the end of the turn. But if they've still got teams within 4 inches, 10 centimeters of the objective, that the game doesn't end. You still keep fighting. So
I'll just do a shout out to you there. If you're new to Flames of War, have a look at our YouTube channel, and there's a whole bunch of how to play videos, which will help if you've got any rules questions as well.
Yep. Excuse me. All right. So Wayne, you actually brought up NukeCon. So to give you a bit of background, because I figure most of you aren't in New Zealand, every year we have FlamesCon, and for the past few years FlamesCon has been split between Flames of War and Team Yankee, which, given that here in New Zealand at least a lot of Team Yankee players are also Flames of War players, meant that we had to decide, are we playing Flames or are we playing Team Yankee? So this year the organisers have decided to split the two up. So we have FlamesCon middle of October, and we're also going to have NukeCon middle of September. Now, luckily for me, my wife doesn't watch live streams, so she won't know that I'm yet to ask for permission to go to that. I'm currently running on a brownie point deficit at the moment, so leave passes for tournaments they're a bit scarce. So I have to do some good stuff around the house to earn the opportunity to ask for this one. So I haven't started planning or doing any work on thinking about it really yet. But Wayne, you were saying you've actually started thinking about what you're taking.
Yep, I made a list. Take the Alpha Clarons company, which is the recon company for the West Germans. It consists of mainly of Leopard 1s and Luke's reconnaissance 8-wheeled armoured cars. And then I've added to that, I've taken one of the Alpha Clarons infantry platoon, which is the same as the Panzer Grenadier, except it's only got one Milan and it's mounted in Fuchs 6-wheel APCs rather than Martyrs.
One of the coolest looking APCs.
To give it a bit of punch, I've taken 3 Leopard 2s as well. and a pair of BO-105 anti-tank helicopters, and a pair of Gepards to fend off any enemy's aircraft there.
Because it's how many points?
75.
Yeah,
so
75.
in that 75 points, I managed to get 7 Leopard 1s, 8 Lukes, 3 Fuchs in infantry platoon, 2 Gepards, 3 Leopard 2s, and 2 PAH BO-105 anti-tank helicopters.
Jeez. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked to take a company of Leopard 2s, but can't put that in 75 points.
Yeah.
That's 77 points for 2 3s and a HQ of 1.
Yep.
I was noodling up a list that had 5 M1A1s and 2 Bradleys.
The ultimate I'll paint it quick list.
Yeah, taking my Leopard 2s as pairs, I feel they're always in a slight danger of having a series of bad rolls and them running off without actually dying.
Yeah, I think around the studio, 99% of Leopard 2s that I've seen, when run in pairs, have ended up running off the table with one of them dead. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I could take 5 for 55 points, but
yeah, I wouldn't be keen
it's
on
not really worth the effort.
No, I've
free and support. Yeah.
I have started, I guess, sort of thinking about it. I think I've got a week off coming up. I think it is actually the week before the tournament or around the tournament. So I've got a week off where I'm going to spend the entire week in the garage, watching Netflix or Amazon Prime, and painting. So I'm hoping to catch up on some of my Big Four painting. I'm hoping to finish some World War III Team Yankee projects. So it did cross my mind actually for if I can get a leave pass for this. This is a great opportunity, great excuse for me to finish off my French army. So I've got 2 slightly understrength infantry platoons painted in VABs, so in the, much like you, the wheeled transports. And embarrassingly, I thought I'd painted enough figures, but it turns out I hadn't painted enough teams. The VAB platoons are 2 stands bigger, which is embarrassing because I was the one that decided on the contents of that blister. So the fact that I'd forgotten what I put in it was a bit annoying. So I've got 2 platoons of them, I've got all my Milans painted, and this would be a chance for me to finish painting all my AMX-10 RCs, which are the super funky looking wheeled reconnaissance vehicles with 105s on them.
Yeah, I've got a few boxes of them
They're super cool
at some point because they look awesome.
Yeah, so that's on my, that would be what I would do I think if I can get the leave pass. It's really, I don't think it'll be an optimal list, but I think it will be a good excuse to help me finish painting that army. If my memory is correct, I've done all my airbrushing. I just need to give it a pin wash and tidy up and glue the wheels on the vehicles and varnish it. So it's one of those things where it's probably, I don't know, 2 half days of being left alone in the garage without the kids to have it finished. And maybe then start on some helicopters for it. King and Jello, if you think those are cool, you should wait for the Panhard EBR in Checkpoint Charlie. If I'm going to remember correctly, Victor, Panhard EBR, that's the wheeled thing that we've been watching drive around us in World of Tanks, right?
That's the one Victor likes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in. I'd take a company of those.
Just one.
Don't know how many points they'd be under Checkpoint Charlie.
Cheap. I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, I'm just Googling what their Wikipedia stats are like to give me an idea of how expensive they might be in Checkpoint Charlie. Since
Are
we're
they
being
with a
asked,
90 or a 105?
75mm rifled gun or 90mm low pressure gun, according to Wikipedia, the font of all things true and knowledgeable. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not sure we can give any information about when that's going to be available yet. Still in the wind a bit.
Yeah, I think in one of the live streams, Pete mentioned he was talking about late 2021. I think I was doing a bit of a live chat with Phil over the weekend as part of the Cyber Wars. One of the things that is sort of sitting in the backs of our minds at the moment is obviously New Zealand's lucky, talking about COVID again. We're a small island. We were able to lock our borders down and sort of everything's ended up okay. But around the rest of the world, other countries aren't as fortunate. So we don't know what's going to happen with production schedules, with stores. If a second wave or third wave or whatever happens. So yeah, let's hope for end of next year, early 22, and we'll see what happens. But it's still a thing. We're in the studio, super keen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. From M48s and Centurions to obviously now me wanting an EBR company. Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Whenever we get the first test shots for that, get like 3 times as much as you normally do for your sample.
Four.
Yeah, I know. I'm in.
I'll actually get around to painting up some more T55 again.
Yeah, that would be a good time. Actually, my Czechoslovakians will transfer nicely into a Checkpoint Charlie scenario too.
Are there Hinds in the period?
Yeah, behind A's though, right? I'm figuring.
Yeah, I'll just use the same Hinds that I've got though, so that's right.
Yeah, someone in chat will know, but I'm just going to once again go to Wikipedia quickly. Let's see. First flight 1969, introduced 72. Yep.
Yeah, that's good for me. Because I'll actually my Hinds are painted up as poles anyway. I know I'll actually paint up some Polish T55s.
That'd be cool.
Charlie for Checkpoint Charlie.
Yep, that would be cool. Sorry, Droxlit. Any ideas on the Finnish mid-war White Death ETA before or after Bagration? I'm embarrassed I don't know the answer to that. It went off to print quite a while ago, so it should...
It hasn't come back yet, has it? I haven't seen it.
No, we haven't seen a copy here in the office. Well, not here in the office, here in the office. It can't be far away. I'll add it to my to-do list, and maybe what I can do is not in today's website update, but maybe for next week I'll try and keep a note of these questions and chuck up here's some things you asked us in our live stream that we weren't sure of the answers for. White Death ETA.
Here you go, Schwerpanzerjäger. Here you go. Even done the leading edges of the rotors for you.
What was I was watching Pete the Wargamer, the content that he did over the World War III American launch with how to paint an Apache, and I really liked how he basically just dry brushed it up, washed to give it a bit of detail, but I really liked how he did a dry brush of I can't remember what colour it was, a grey-black on the leading edges of the rotors, just to give them a bit of, I don't know, maybe a bit of motion blur maybe. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, so I want to paint up some Apaches, but I'm not going to paint them OD because, that's just boring. So I've seen a couple of photos of them done in sort of marine grey, sort of aviation grey, so I'm going to do them like that.
the old. You've seen a photo there for its legit defence.
Yeah, and it's I mean, there are a lot of them that are in the Indian Army.
Yeah.
There's a lot of grey ones, but this one actually still had United States written on it. So.
Okay. I didn't realise the Indian Army, had Apaches.
Yeah, Indian Army's got Apaches. They went on. I think it's quite a recent thing.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, I think.
Yeah. So I'm still looking at the EBR and thinking that it's probably going to have about a similar points value in Checkpoint Charlie to the AMX 10RC. So, yeah, a company of those will...
You'll need heaps.
Yeah, a company of those will be dynamite.
I think when the AMX 10RCs came out, I think like 4 or 5 of us who got a company's worth at the same time, just because they're so awesome.
Yeah, I've got enough to do 4 platoons. My theory being, I could have 2 companies each with 2 platoons and then an infantry platoon, or I can run one full strength. Or I can run an infantry company of 2 platoons plus Milans, and then a company of 3 AMX 10RCs.
See. I want to. I'm never going to do a French army, but I figure they'll be awesome as an Allied support formation.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan, absolute huge fan of running Allied nation formations just to support your forces. It's just a lovely way to bridge a gap, maybe in your own nation, with something, and actually I think it makes for quite a cool themey force.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Droz, I don't know how to say that. So asking about the plastic carnations. No, I don't think so.
No. Pete covered this one actually, I think, in one of the calls as well. No plastic carnation, unfortunately. And I think the question, which was fair, was, so why no plastic carnation when there's a plastic M109? And the short answer is, the M109 gets used everywhere by everyone. And by that I mean everything from NAM to Canadians, British, Americans, West Germans, Danes, Dutch, it's just so extensively used. Israelis, yep. So sorry about that, but you do get the T80, BMP3, so there's some definite cool plastics there.
I'm pushing for the BMD1.
Yeah, it does get discussed around the office a bit, that one. So
is that the airborne thing?
Yeah.
Yep. Because, awesome.
I wouldn't want to have ridden in one, but then I'm probably a bit fat to even get in it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you need to have a game where you've got BMD1s versus weasels.
Jeez.
Heaviest armor on the table.
Yep, BRDM. Yes, BRDM and plastic is coming too. Actually, the first test shots from the factory will be arriving in New Zealand Tuesday. So
you got extras of those, didn't you, Chris?
No, you never get enough test shots. And there's no reason to, because I've already got 2 units of BRDM2s painted for my checks, 2 units of what's the AA on them? SA9s?
SA13, SA9s, yeah.
SA9s. 2 units of SA9s and 1 unit of Sagas. So I don't need them.
Yes, but I don't.
No, new players need them, so we'll save all of them for them. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. So now I have just noticed the time. It's running up close to 10 o'clock, so we are going to stop soon. So we do have time for a few more questions. So fire them through. 99 Red, with the new World of Tanks game coming out. Sorry, I'm just skimming down because I don't want to read it out because it's a long question. So Tanks, effectively the original Tanks game is, I don't want to say going away, because you've got the miniatures, you've got the rules, you've got the cards, so everything's still available in that respect. But we don't have any plans at the moment to produce any more content for it. So that's where that's going to sit. Sorry. Leon 6, sweet. I'm planning on ordering some SA13s and turning them into MTLBs. I love you. You're nuts, but that's super cool.
I'd love to do some MTLB troop transports. They are my favorite vehicle from the period.
I don't get that.
Look awesome. They look awesome.
As I can tell, they didn't really use them as troop transports in the.
Yeah, they were meant.
They were like artillery crews would ride in them and things like that.
Yeah, they were gun transports, but you know, it's a fantasy game, so I'll do what I want. They look cool.
Yeah, I don't get that. If we're going to duck back, then I'd be ducking back to BTR 152s. At least, you know, they've got nice lines.
Nah, you're wrong. So Leon 6, they still use them as mixed transports in Finland.
Right. They still use them. Jeez. Yep, Droxlet, Fallschirmjägers in World War III, West Germans coming out with Weasels. I have noticed that they've obviously, you know, Wayne can tell you all about Weasels another time, but they've just appeared, haven't they, on Facebook, as everyone's just started talking about them. They are super cool looking little things. And in 1/100th scale, they would be... what have I got
Similar
here?
size to a Jeep.
Yeah, I mean...
About BA-64 size, yeah.
They're only about this big. Here's my old... What's this? My Star Wars key thing to get into the old game. They're only about that big, so they're tiny. Yeah, no, they're super cool. Yeah, both with the 20mm and tow options.
Oh yeah, the little Italian tankettes about that size, yeah.
Our little L3s, love them.
Yeah.
Love L3s. L3s, L6s? L6s, sorry, I think. I almost did an early War Force.
Yeah, L6 one, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll see on the MTLB. We'll make zero promises on that front.
Don't worry, I'll push for it.
Yeah, I'd say the Weasels probably are about the same size as a Universal Carrier. I think actually about the same size.
A little bit taller.
Yeah, taller. Yeah. All right. Any closing thoughts from everyone? From anyone?
Okay. Let's say Leon 60, it'll be easier to convert the AA one rather than the Storm. So go for the AA one to convert.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Storms have a different top, I think.
Yeah, they got the loading hatch for the missile.
Yeah.
And again, another one of the coolest looking vehicles in Team Yankee.
Crazy. Okay, I will admit, I am just looking at a picture of an Iraqi one with a twin-barreled 23mm on the top. That's pretty cool. So yeah, alrighty. So sorry for not being around much. We are here. We are working on stuff. A bit of good news actually, just sort of related to that. One of the reasons we have to finish up is that finish up the call today is that Casey, Victor, and I after this we're actually heading out to our new offices. In a couple of months, we're going to move our location here in New Zealand, and we're going from an office, I guess, it's just normal office, to a much better space. We're just going to check out where the photography studio will be and Victor's going to be sorting out some signage stuff. But in the new office, we're actually going to have a return to having a dedicated gaming space, which will also have some provisions to have some video gear set up. So at the moment, whenever we want to do any videos in the office, we have to set up all the gear, set up everything, take tables, and it's a fun challenge anyway. With this, we'll still have to do some of that, but it'll be a bit more of it will be permanently set up. We've also recently had a new member join the studio, a young man called Ryan, who is a big fan of Flames of War.
He's one of us.
He's one of us. He's a Flames of War fan, Team Yankee fan, more or less fresh out of university. So he's coming in with a lot of fresh ideas, and he's going to be our new video editor. So we've already seen some of the work that he started doing for our upcoming SS live launch, and that's going to look cool. But he's also got some good ideas for about how we can get ourselves squared away to be able to more easily do live streams and stuff in the future from the new office space. So I am hoping that in the future it will be much easier for us to do this, so we'll have less excuse to not do it. If we can just rock downstairs, shut a couple of doors, fire up the cameras and go.
Be able to touch each other.
Yeah.
And share paints and, do more of a communal hobby time. Yeah. This still feels a bit weird, like we're together, but we're not.
Yeah. Yep. So
there's no touching.
Yeah. No, they won't actually be.
So, yeah, we'll all at least be able to sit around a table together, and like I say, hopefully we'll just be able to do them, hopefully be easier to do them. So, like I say, rock downstairs, maybe do them more often, and maybe even in case of just doing shorter ones more often. But that's definitely the plan. Sometime between now and then, though, we will definitely, I'm going to commit to that on behalf of everyone else, we will definitely do another one. Somewhere in between the live launch coming up for the SS and the Bagration book, probably. Maybe a bit of a pre-FlamesCon or post other thing. Oh,
no, Wayne's gone.
Wayne's gone. Hold on. No. Oh, technology is not my friend right now. He's back. There he is. If you're looking at the screen right now, you can see him arms up with joy. So we'll commit to another one before we move, and it may be a bit of a post-NukeCon, pre-FlamesCon chat. He's back. My pre-prepared graphic for Wayne loses his internet didn't work, unfortunately, today.
So one last thing. So Blackout Bob, yep, Saga and Spandrel options for the B8M2. To answer your question.
Alrighty, so catch you all again next time. Thanks for coming along today.
See ya.
Cheers.